Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel, SheikahSoulFamily. My name is Caroline. I am a tarot reader, a medium, a intuitive healer, a New Earth teacher, and an author. All of my information is down below if you are interested in knowing more. So today we're going to continue the spirituality for kids and teens. We already did Major Arcana and Cups, that is in the playlist below, and so today we're actually going to do Wands. So let's get into Wands. So the suit of Wands is about passion, inspiration, and willpower. Things that you love, things that you're passionate about. Kind of like, you know, do you love to draw? Like my daughter, all she does is draw. She has so many markers and papers, and all she does is draw. Like my walls over here are just filled with drawings. That's her passion, okay? Inspiration, what are things that inspire you? You know, when you see, like, let's say you go to the zoo and you see all the zoo animals and you're inspired to go home and draw pictures of elephants or learn more about elephants, things like that. Willpower. Willpower is being able to tell yourself no. So let's say that let's say that dinner is coming and you really want a cookie, but you know that you're not supposed to have cookies before dinner. Willpower is the ability to stop yourself and say, no, we're not having a cookie right now because dinner is going to be ready soon. So that's what willpower is. So we're going to go ahead and start with the Ace of Wands. I'm going to put it up on the screen. You pause it and write down what you think it means. Okay, so Ace of Wands. Ace of Wands upright means creation, willpower, inspiration, and desire. So creation, we know what creation is, to make something. Okay, make a drawing or make something out of clay. Willpower, we did talk about willpower, remember? The ability to tell yourself no. Inspiration, we did talk about that. And desire, what do you want? What do you want to do? Okay, like if you think about your future, what do you want to do? I think when I was little, I wanted to be a policeman or a fireman. Okay? Desire is something you want really, really, really bad. And it could, and Christmas is coming up, so it could mean, I really, really, really want that, the newest toy, whatever it is on the market. Okay, like my daughter, she likes something called Sprunkies, and it's something from the internet. I don't know, and they sell the whole set of Sprunkies on Amazon, and she's like, I really, really, really want Sprunkies for Christmas, so we're gonna get her the Sprunkies for Christmas. So now let's look at the Ace of Wands reversed. So the Ace of Wands reversed represents a lack of energy, being lazy, not wanting to do anything, being tired all the time. It also about a lack of passion. Okay, a lack of passion is, let's say you want to join an art class, and you tell your parents, oh, please, 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 can I join this art class? And they say, okay. And about maybe a week later, you're like, I'm tired of this art class. I don't want to go. I don't want to do it anymore. That's lack of passion. And then we have boredom, being bored. You know, laying there and saying, I'm bored. I don't know what to do. You know, entertain me. That's boredom. So now we're going to move on to the Two of Wands. So I'll put it up and you pause it and write down what you think the Two of Wands means. Okay, so Two of Wands, planning, making decisions, and leaving a home. So if we look at the Two of Wands, they have a big map spread out in front of them, right? And they have the globe nearby. So this is about planning something. This could be like planning a vacation. This could be, let's say you have a project to do, planning out how to do the project and what materials you'll need. It's also about making a decision. Okay, so yeah, making a decision. What do you want to do today? Do you want to go to the swimming pool or do you want to go to the park? Which do you want to do? And leaving home. So this typically happens when we're older, right? When we become an adult and it's time to move out on our own and have our own apartment. And sometimes it can be really scary because we're so used to being around our parents and our family. But sometimes it's good for us to move out on our own and have our own life experiences. Okay, so now we're going to look at the Two of Wands reversed. This is about the fear of change. Okay, let's say you decorate your room. You move into your new house and you decorate your room, and then one day your parents come in and say, don't you want to do something different with your room? Let's repaint or let's rearrange the furniture. And you're like, no, I don't want to do that because I like it the way it is. It's fine the way it is. I know where everything is. If I rearrange the room, it's going to be too different, and I don't like that. That's the fear of change. It's also about playing it safe, which is kind of the same, because when you play it safe, you know, with not changing your room, you're like, I know where everything is. I know I can walk from my room. I can walk around my room in the dark and I won't hit anything because I know where everything is. Okay, playing it safe could also be not taking a risk. So not taking a risk would be like, let's say you go to the amusement park and there's a new roller coaster and everyone's like, oh yeah, let's go ride the roller coaster. And you're like, I don't know, no, I don't want to ride the roller coaster. And they're like, why don't you want to ride it? And you're like, well, I've never been on that roller coaster before. I don't know what it's like. I'd rather just go on the roller coasters that I'm familiar with. It's playing it safe. And then we have bad planning. So let's say bad planning could also be cramming. Cramming is like, let's say you have a test. Let's say today your teacher says you have a test in 2 weeks, the midterm or the final. So it's a good idea to start studying now. And instead of studying now, you decide to study the day before the test. That is bad planning, okay? Or if your teacher says, I want you to make a model of a house, and you decide to make one out of, let's say, popsicle sticks, and you don't use a good glue, that's bad planning, okay? So now we're moving on to the Three of Wands. I'm going to put it up, and you can pause it and tell me what you think the Three of Wands is. So now we are going to look at the Three of Wands. It stands for looking ahead, expansion, and rapid growth. I always say the Three of Wands is taking action on the Two of Wands. So in the Two of Wands, we planned everything out. The Three of Wands is actually taking action on that plan. Looking ahead. A lot of times, like I have I have 3 tarot decks. One of them, it's a woman looking through binoculars for the Three of Wands. Looking ahead, looking at the future, looking at, like let's say looking ahead is almost like planning. So if you say, okay, if I, how can I say this? Looking ahead. Like let's say you tell yourself, okay, let's say you say, oh, this Christmas I want to buy a present for my mom and it's going to cost $20. So you start looking ahead. Okay, how am I going to earn that $20? It's kind of like the Two of Wands, planning, but this is planning for something that's like maybe a month or so ahead. Expansion is basically growing. Let's say you're starting a collection, right? And you start with 1 or 2 cards. So I'm going to show you my collection. Okay, so this is my collection. So far, this is the beginning of my collection of cards. Okay, so I started with 1 or 2 decks, and now I have, I don't know how many decks there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. I have 11 decks. And I also have charms. I also have crystals. I also have these cards. So that's expansion, okay? Rapid growth, same thing. Except this expansion is happening really, really quickly. So now we're going to look at the Three of Wands reversed. So the Three of Wands reversed. So it's about obstacles, delays, and frustration. So obstacles are things that stand in your way, right? Like let's say you're riding a bike down the street and there's a car that's sticking out into or on the sidewalk and they're sticking out into the sidewalk. That's an obstacle. Delays is basically delays. It's like things that keep you from getting where you want to go, like traffic. Have you ever been in traffic? Yeah. And that causes frustration, which is the other part of the Three of Wands reverse. Frustration. Okay? Kind of like not getting what you want. So moving on, we're going to move on to the Four of Wands. I'll put that up and you pause it and write down what you think. Okay, Four of Wands. It's pretty easy. It's about community, home, and celebration. If you look at the wands, they make 11, 11, 1, 1, 1, 1. And typically 11, 11 stands for harmony and balance. Okay? It's also, typically they say it's also about marriage and things like that. But it's about home, celebration, family. Which I think that's pretty self-explanatory. Okay? So we're going to look at the Four of Wands reversed. Lack of support. So lack of support is, let's say you love to draw and you say, one day I want to be like a famous artist. Lack of support would be, let's say your friends or family saying, a famous artist? You're never going to be a famous artist. Famous artists are broke, or only, a small portion of artists become famous and rich. You'll never do. That's lack of support. Transience. That's kind of a big word. Transience basically means like homeless. Transience means you don't have a place to live. You don't have a place to live. Okay? Home conflicts, having arguments at home. Okay, that's the Four of Wands reversed. So now we're going to move into the Five of Wands. So I'll go ahead and put that up and you pause it and write down what you think. So we have the Five of Wands. So this is one of the negative cards. This is about competition, rivalry, and conflict. So you know what competition is, right? Let's say you're running in a race. The other people you're running against is your competition. We have rivalry, which is kind of the same thing, but rivalry is more like two people fighting over something. There's competition, which tends to be more friendly, and rivalry, which is two people fighting over something. And then we have conflict, which is the same as not agreeing, arguments, fights, things like that. So now we move to the Five of Wands reversed. This is avoiding conflict. So this is basically saying, let's say someone wants to start a fight with you. You say, no, you know what? I'm not going to do this. And you walk away. And respecting differences, which is really important. So this is respecting people's differences, whether it's their race, the color of their skin, their physical differences, okay? Their likes and dislikes, things like that, which is really important. It's called tolerance and acceptance. So we're going to move on to the Six of Wands. So I'll put that up and you pause it and write down what you think it is. So Six of Wands, it stands for victory, success, recognition, and public reward. So this is a really good card. So victory, it's winning. This card is winning. Success, money, being famous, getting rewards, and like, what's it called? Getting rewards and recognition. So the Six of Wands reversed. So this one is about excess pride. So excess pride is like, let's say you're putting a bicycle together and you're having trouble. And someone comes over and says, oh, can I help you put that together? And you're like, no, you don't have to help me. I don't need any help. I could do it myself.
Why?
That's excess pride. We have lack of recognition. Let's say you rake the leaves in the yard and you put them in bags and you put the bags on the corner, and nobody ever said thank you or said, wow, you did such a good job. No, it's just like nothing. Okay? And punishment. So I'm sure all of you know what punishment is. So I don't have to define what punishment is. Now we're going to move on to the Seven of Wands. I'll put it up and you write down what you think it is. Okay, so Seven of Wands. This is perseverance, defensiveness, and maintaining control. Perseverance is like continuing, like using all of your strength to continue. Like let's say you're running in a race and you're starting to get tired, so you're dropping back and everyone's ahead of you. Perseverance is you keep running. Instead of giving up, you just keep running and running. And you said, I'm not going to stop until this race is over. That is perseverance. Being defensive means, like, let's say you're in class and the teacher calls on you and says, oh, Timmy, what is your favorite food? And you say, oh, you know what? I like broccoli. And everyone says, ew, broccoli, that's so gross. Why do you like broccoli? Being defensive is saying, well, you know what? I like broccoli. It's healthy. At least it's better than pizza, which is so unhealthy for you. At least my favorite food is something that's healthy, and I'm never going to get fat because of it. That's being defensive. And then maintaining control. This is, defensive could also be defending something that you've built. Like, let's say you make a snowman and someone comes over and is like, I'm going to push over that snowman. And you're like, no, you're not. You're protecting the snowman, right? Maintaining control. Let's say you're riding your bike, right? And you hit a rock and your bike goes crazy. It's about you holding onto those handlebars and keeping the bike straight so you don't fall over. That's essentially what maintaining control is. Now we're going to look at the Seven of Wands reversed. This is about giving up, destroyed confidence, and being overwhelmed. So we all know what giving up means, right? Destroyed confidence. Let's say you are an artist and you draw a picture and you're so proud of your picture. You're like, this is the best picture I've ever done. And someone looks at your picture and goes, what is that? That is the ugliest thing I've ever seen. And you just being like, it's like you being the king of the world and all of a sudden you're just this tiny little ant. That's what destroyed confidence is. And being overwhelmed. Like, let's say being overwhelmed is you're maybe a parent or a teacher saying, okay, this is tonight's homework. Or this is your list of chores and you're like, oh my God, how am I going to do all this? I can't do all this. This is too much. I'm just not going to do any of it because if I even look at this list, it's going to drive me crazy. That's what being overwhelmed is. Okay, so it's kind of craziness, right? So now we're moving on to the Eight of Wands. I'm going to put that up and you tell me what you think it is. Okay, Eight of Wands, rapid action, movement, quick decisions. Wands is also about communication. So this rapid action, it's basically something's going to happen really fast. Movement means forward action, okay? And then quick decisions is the need to make a quick decision. Like, let's say you are going to visit your grandparents and your parent says you can only take one toy with you, but you have 3 toys that you really love and they're like, go pick a toy really quick. And you're like, okay, I'm going to pick this one. That's a quick decision. And it's, like I said, it's about communication. So that means that communication is coming into you very quickly. We have the Eight of Wands reversed. Panic, waiting, and a slowdown. So panic, you know what panic is, right? Let's say something happens. Like, let's say the fire alarm goes off and you're like, oh my God, there's a fire. I don't know where to go. Where do I go? That's panic. Okay?
Maybe you use the fire extinguisher.
Yes, like she said, use a fire extinguisher. Okay. So now we have waiting, which is self-explanatory, right? Waiting. And slow down. So where the Eight of Wands upright is fast movement, fast, 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 Eight of Wands reverse is slow, like really slow movement. So let's move on to the Nine of Wands upright. I'll put that up and you pause it and tell me what you think. Okay, so the Nine of Wands is about resilience, grit, last stand, and it's also wounded warrior. So resilience. Resilience is basically when you're resilient, it's like, let's say you're building a house of cards and it keeps falling down. Resilience is it fell down, so you just pick up the cards and start building again. Okay? No matter how many times it falls down, you just build it up again. Grit, same thing. It's just another word for it. Last stand. The last stand is basically standing up for yourself, standing up for what you built. It's kind of like the Seven of Wands, protecting what you built. This is standing up for what you built. And then we have wounded warrior, which is, let's say that you get hurt over and over. Like I have a card and it's, well, two cards. And so I'm going to put the Nine of Wands I'm talking about over here. So you can take a look at it. But you can see someone, they have bandages, right? And they're guarding the wands that are behind them. That's wounded warrior. Someone who's been hurt a lot over and over, but they're still standing up and protecting their heart. They're protecting their wounds. It's kind of like putting up a wall. And I'm not going to let you see my wounds, my internal wounds. I'm not going to let you see that I'm hurt. Things like that. So now we're going to look at the Nine of Wands reversed. This is exhaustion, fatigue, and questioning motivations. So exhaustion is just it's just exhaustion and fatigue is being tired, overly tired, very, very tired. Tired of fighting, tired of, it's like, I said Nine of Wands is like standing guard over everything that you've built. This is just kind of like giving up, just being too exhausted to fight anymore. And then questioning motivations, like let's say someone gives you, someone at school who's normally not very nice or you don't talk to, suddenly gives you, let's say, a cupcake, and you're like, why are you giving me this cupcake? Like, is there something in it? Are you pranking me? That's questioning motivations.
I'm not pranking you.
So we're moving on to the Ten of Wands. I'm going to put it up and you tell me what it is. So we have the Ten of Wands, which is accomplishment, responsibility, and burden. So the way I see this card is burden. Being overly burdened, having too much to do, being overwhelmed. We talked about being overwhelmed. But it's also about getting to the top of the mountain. Okay? It's going to be a struggle. It's going to be hard, but you're going to get to the top of that mountain. And responsibility, taking on too much responsibility. Again, being overwhelmed. Let's say it's about, let's say you have a lot of things to do. You have a long list of things to do. And someone says, well, let me help you with the list. And you're like, no, this is my list. I'll do it. I don't need anybody's help. Okay? So now we're going to look at, responsibility in this case. Well, the Ten of Wands is a burden. Okay? So Ten of Wands reverse, inability to delegate. So delegate means tell other people to help you. Like, let's say you have this long list and you're like, okay, Bobby, can you go and straighten up, let's say you're in a classroom and you're like the leader and you have a list of things that need to be done in the classroom and you're supposed to give jobs to everybody else. And instead you're like, no, I'll just take care of this myself. It's kind of the same of responsibility, being burdened with responsibility. Okay? Overly stressed out, overwhelmed, it's the same thing. Burnt out, same thing. Just being tired, being over it. So now we're going to move on to the Page of Wands. So I'm going to put that up and you pause it and tell me what you think. Okay, so Page of Wands is about exploration, excitement, and freedom. Pages are usually people who are younger, they're students, they're learning. So this is about exploring something new, being excited about something new, and it's also about freedom. Okay, feeling the freedom to be able to explore something new, to start something new, to do what you want. Okay, now we have the Page of Wands reversed. This is lack of direction, procrastination, and creating conflict. So lack of direction is like, let's say it's kind of like a creative block. Okay, we talked about that with I believe it was the Empress reversed, the creative block, not knowing, having a goal but not knowing how to get there. Procrastination, this is something I have a problem with a lot of times. I have a list over by my bed of things I need to do every day. A lot of times, let's say today I need to clean out the fridge. And procrastination would be saying, well, you know what, I'm not going to do it today, I'm going to do it tomorrow. Okay? And there is a saying, why put off until tomorrow what you can do today? And a lot of times procrastination is what's called self-sabotaging behavior. Okay, when you self-sabotage, it comes from fear. Okay? And maybe I'll do a self-sabotaging video for you guys. I'll put that on my list so I could explain it more. But procrastination is putting things off till tomorrow. I'll do it tomorrow. I'll do it later. Okay? But by keeping doing that, you never get it done because you keep pushing it off and creating conflict, starting fights, starting arguments. So now we're going to move on to the Knight of Wands. I'm going to go ahead and put that up and you write down what you think it is. Okay, so the Knight of Wands, this is about action, adventure, and being courageous. So where pages are kind of like learning, pages are like planning, okay? Knights are taking action. Knights are brave. Knights can be a little bit impulsive, a little bit reckless. They don't really think things through. But this is also about adventure, okay? Trying new things and being brave about it. Then we have the Knight of Wands reversed. This is about anger, impulsiveness, and recklessness. So anger, you guys know what anger is. Impulsive. So I kind of said that Knights tend to be a little impulsive. They can be. But Knight's reverse is like definitely impulsive. Doing things without thinking about them first. Without thinking about the risks involved. And then we have reckless, which is the same thing. Reckless is, let's say, finding an abandoned house and just going in to explore without being careful, okay? Without thinking, oh, the floor might be weak or the something could fall on me or something, okay? That's being reckless. So now we have the Queen of Wands upright. Okay, so I'm going to put that up and you write down what you think it is. Okay, Queen of Wands, I'm sorry. This is about courage, determination, and joy. So courage, you know what courage is. Courage is to be brave. Then we have determination. Okay, we were talking about the race, right? And even though people pull ahead of you, you're like, I'm going to keep running. I'm going to finish this race. Even if I finish last, I'm going to finish this race. Being determined to finish the race. Then we have joy, happiness. However, joy comes from inside of you. You're happy to be you, okay? Happiness, things bring us happiness. Joy comes from within us, okay? So let's look at the Queen of Wands reverse. This is selfishness, jealousy, and insecurity. Selfish, okay? We talked about that, about if you have 3 cookies and your friend asks you, oh, can we share? And you give them 1. Or you say, no, these are my cookies. Go get your own. That's selfish. jealous, let's say you're on the other end. Your friend has 6 cookies and you don't have any, and you look at him and you're like, man, I wish I had those cookies. Oh, he thinks he's so cool because he has cookies. That's jealousy. Insecurity. It's like getting a new haircut and it didn't come out the way that you wanted it to. And so you're like, you wear a hat, like I wear a scarf. But I don't wear a scarf because I'm insecure about my hair. I wear a scarf for other reasons. But you're insecure. You're like, I don't want to take off my hat because my hair is ugly and people are going to make fun of me. And with anything, your clothes, with you know, with anything that could be. Okay, so now for the last one, we're going to take a look at the King of Wands. Okay, I'm going to put up the King of Wands and you write down what you think it is. Okay, so the King of Wands looks at the big picture. Okay, there is a saying, he can't see the forest because of the trees. So it means that, let's say you have, it's like having a picture of the earth, right? But being focused on the United States. Okay, when you're focused on something small, you're missing everything else around it. Sorry, I have hiccups. You're missing everything else around it. So it's kind of like being selfish. If when you're not looking at the big picture, it's kind of like being selfish. It's like, you know, let's say, I know when I was small, during Valentine's Day, we were told to buy a box of Valentines and give one to every person in the class. Okay, that's looking at the big picture. When you're not looking at the big picture, you just give a Valentine to one person and you forget everybody else. Okay, that's focusing on one person and not seeing the whole of the class. Okay, now we have a leader. Yeah, be a leader. Don't be a follower. Okay, if let's say you have a group of friends and your group of friends sees a abandoned house and you get a bad feeling like we shouldn't go in there. That looks dangerous. And your friends are like, come on, let's go in there. And you're like, no, I'm not going to go in there. You guys, if you guys are going to go, fine, but I'm going to stay here. That's being a leader and standing up for yourself and saying, no, I'm not going to follow you guys. Overcoming challenges. You know, this is basically like getting homework, okay? And you're like, I am having trouble understanding this. But saying, you know what, I'm going to sit here and I'm going to study and I am going to figure this out. That is overcoming challenges. So finally, we're going to look at the King of Wands reverse. Impulsive, overbearing, unachievable expectations. So impulsive. We were talking about that with the Knight, right? Being impulsive. About being impulsive, not thinking before you're acting. Overbearing is kind of like, we talked about this, being a micromanager. Okay, it's kind of like, let's say your mom tells you to clean your room. And you're like, okay, but instead of letting her clean, she stands at the doorway and watches her. Oh, you missed that, wipe that, clean that, vacuum there. That's overbearing. Unachievable expectations. So let's say you want to become an actor one day, okay? But you don't take acting classes. You don't find out what it takes to be an actor. You're just like, I'm just going to be an actor one day, but I'm not going to put any work towards it. I'm going to get discovered. That's unachievable expectations. Anything that you want to achieve needs work behind it. Okay? So that was my Wands reading video. Next video I'm going to do is swords, I believe. So swords are basically about communication, truth, and clarity. So we're going to do that either later this week or next week. I don't know. And then after that, I'm going to be doing more videos such as self-love, healing, self-sabotage, behavior. I'm going to do that too, I think. And I'll do more, as they come up, or as you guys give me ideas, I'll do more. So thank you guys so much for watching. All of my information again is down below. Remember to like and subscribe to my channel. So have a beautiful day, week, weekend, month, year, life. Remember to live in and spread love, joy, compassion, gratitude, kindness, enlightenment, and peace. And again, thank you for watching, and I will see you next time.
Bye.